All right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna use this knife right here. But first thing is first, you actually don't want to start skinning them just yet. There's this little trick I saw online. What you want to do is you actually want to squeeze the urine out. So all you have to do, it's mostly just blood coming out there, is you run your fingers along the belly to try and squeeze out any urine if there is any. And sometimes their bladder is full, sometimes it's not. So it appears that this guy doesn't really have that full of a bladder, so it shouldn't be that big of a process to skin them and gut them here. So I'm gonna cut off the legs or the feet here first. Pretty straightforward. Just a little joint there, or tendon. Watch your hands, just want to cut into that tendon there. Feel the crown, and you cut it around your feet. Give it a bit of a twist or pop back. There it is, bone's cracking. Give it a bit of a twist. Cut it off. There you go. There's one. And you're basically gonna do this for all of the feet. Just back here, cut the tendon. Watch your fingers, there's the tendon. And I cut around the ankle here. Give it a bit of a pop back. And a bit of a twist. There you go. There you go. Two. And then the front legs are a lot easier, but again, you just want to cut around the foot here. Give it a bit of a pop. Oh, actually, I didn't really get the tendon that well. Try cutting it a bit better this time. There it is. Okay, good pop. Cut. Again, go around the ankle. Pop. Off. Okay, so now we got all 4 feet done. Now it's going to begin the skinning process. So for the skinning process, what you want to do is just kind of pinch the belly, but don't pinch the guts underneath it. You're going to make a small cut. There's a small cut, and you're going to put your finger into that hole you just made. There you go. Put my knife to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke my fingers around. Just kind of do like a bit of a scooping motion. Separate the skin from the meat. A little bit backwards too. All right. As you can see, just a little bit of a scooping motion. And once you've cleared out a bit more, you're just going to cut your way up a vertical line towards the rib cage. So there you go. Got enough here. Just going to put my blade in backwards. Oh, cut up. Now you want to keep doing the scooping motion up the rib cage. Just separating the skin from the meat. Don't rush this stuff. Once you got to the rib cage, now you're gonna grab it and scoop it over the sides towards the spine. I think I hear a animal out there. Don't know what it is. You can go to the other side. Okay, now you can see my hands completely through. There's a meter. So now what we're going to do is we're now going to work towards the back legs and kind of separate and get those back legs off, get the tail off as well. So to do that, you just pop the knee out and pop the knee out, separate a bit of the skin from the hide here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your fingers in between, kind of like in between the two legs here. Just poke your finger through. There you go. Poke your finger through the membrane. There you go. Got my finger through. And now I'm just going to pull the rest of the hide, almost like you're taking off a sock. As everyone describes it. There you go. A little bit of fur on the skin here, so I'm just gonna peel it off. And then as a side note, these bones are very sharp, so you want to be careful. Don't want to hurt yourself. All right, let's work on, peel that off. Okay, let's work on the other leg. Again, just pop the knee up. Work this skin off here. And we want to be able to put our fingers in between, underneath the two pieces of meat here. Alright, there you go. You don't want to rush this stuff, guys, because if you do, you can easily poke through the hide, because the hide here is not very thick. It's really, really thin. Very easy to damage. Alright, there you go. Pull it off, just like a sock, and I'll take the rest of this skin, rest of that fur off. Okay, so I got both legs exposed. Alright, I'm just gonna work my way back towards the tail, because there's not really a big trick, but there's a small little trick. Oh, it seems like I tore the hide here a little bit in the back legs. Yeah, tore a little bit. That's okay. And don't worry about if any fur falls off during the skinning process, because during the tanning process, you're gonna have a little bit fall off there anyways. So it's just part of the process. Okay, there you go. Now if you're a man, not the most fun part, but we're gonna be cutting off down here near the pelvis. So, not exactly the best mental image. But you gotta just work your knife very carefully. And once you're done, you can kind of move towards the back here and kind of cut down towards the tail. There's the tail starting to show a little bit. Smaller cuts. Again, be careful of your fingers. And now, you should be able to pull it off. Let's see here. There you go. Now, you kept the nice little tail here. A little bit of poo, you can just shake that off. Grab it. There you go. Nice little bushy tail there. All right, the rest of this process is now very easy. Just pick up your rabbit and start pulling it down, just like you're taking off a sock. And you can see I kind of did like an upper, kind of where the ribs are. Just pulling it down like a sock. Again, don't rush this. Just take your time. There's no world records for fastest skinned rabbit. At the end of the day, if you rush this stuff and you ruin it, then your own fault, right? All right, so just like the back legs, you're gonna poke the front leg out. Put your finger through the membrane. There you go. Fingers through. Pull it off like a sock. There we go. Next one, push the elbow out. Push it out. There you go. Almost. There you go. Put your finger through. And now take it off like a sock. There you go. Okay, so now just gonna pull it down towards the neck, and sometimes it rips by itself, sometimes it does not. So just gonna work your way down, pulling it off. There it is. Sometimes a bit of a membrane here around the neck is keeping it on, so grab a hold. Start pulling. Grab a hold of the neck, keep pulling. Keep pulling, there it goes. Just above the head, and if you keep pulling, it should rip, and if it doesn't, it's not ripping. That's fine. Just make a cut around. And then there you go, there's a little cut, and there you go. So now you have rabbit hide. Rabbit hide's off. Cut off the head. So I'm just going to cut it until you expose the vertebrae. So just make a cut around, all the way around, holding onto the head. And once you've cut a bit of the meat away, just give the head a twist and pull it off. And there you go. There's your rabbit head. Okay. So now your rabbit's completely skinned. And don't worry about the hairs here. They do rinse off quite easily when you go home. So don't worry about it. It'll come off. And then try it and see if I can get this on camera here. Try to do my best here. All right, so now what you're gonna do is just, again, pinch the belly. This is where you have to be very careful, okay? Pinch the belly, make a small cut. And now that it's exposed, now this is where the gut hook comes into play. Just pop your gut hook down in there. And pull your knife up. Should start cutting here. Okay. Maybe not. I think I need to give this a bit of a sharpen. Yeah, it needs to be sharpened a bit. There you go. Okay. So now, I'm just gonna keep cutting with my knife here up the ribs. Again, don't put your knife in deep, just work your way slowly. The ribs are soft enough that your knife will go through it no problem. There you go. Okay. Okay. So now we opened it up. First thing I always do is I always take a look at the liver. Basically, you don't want to see any spots or spotting. It's hard, or any discoloration of any kind. But this liver looks really, really healthy, which is good. So I'm just gonna pull the liver out. Then the other thing too, there's a little bile duct in here. Just use your, be careful, use your fingers. Don't puncture it, just pull it out. So it's, I believe it was gallbladder is the right word. So not the good things, I toss it aside. I'm gonna keep the liver here, set that aside. Like saying it's the heart. I always like pulling out my heart. In my opinion, it's the best part. So I'm just gonna pull it out. There you go. Little rabbit heart. Put that to the side. And now what you can do is you can reach up, kind of grab the esophagus. I like holding this rabbit up. I'm gonna move it over to the side here. Grab the esophagus and just pull the rest of the entrails here. Pull it out. There we go. All right, toss those to the side. Now we got a pretty clean cavity here. And what I also like to do is like to get the kidneys. So I just gonna find my kidneys here. They're also quite tasty. So there you go, 2 kidneys. There you go, 2 kidneys. Put that to the side. And now I'm just gonna make a cut down straight through the pelvis. Just there you go, straight through the pelvis. And there's this little bit of skin here still, so I'm just gonna grab my knife and just cut that away there. And now what you can do is just be careful because the bones are sharp here, especially when you split the pelvis. Just pull out the rest of the entrails here. Okay. I get most of it out. Okay, so now, oh, let's have a bit more stuff here. Okay. Looks like just a bit of an artery. Pull it out. There we go. Okay. So I'll just take a quiet look here. I always like cutting it all the way up to the neck, just to make sure that that neck area is clean. Okay. Just one more small cut. There we go, folks. There it is. One clean rabbit. So it looks like what I did, you can see the bullet hole there. I shot him right here through the rib cage. So he dropped almost instantly. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is just gonna pull off a little bit of the extra hairs here just before I put it in the bag. I'm gonna pop this in a grocery bag and then get this sucker home. Well, we're gonna keep hunting a bit more for a second one, but all right, there you go. Then as for washing your hands, because your hands are gonna be a bit bloody, just grab a bit of snow. Rub it in your hands. Take them off. Rub it in my hands. Thankfully, with it being above 0 today, this is not that hard. And right now, if it was -20, I'll be putting my gloves on immediately to get my hands warmed up. But because of it being positive temperatures, I don't have to worry about it.